Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I've got 3 stories for you in this video. The first one is from Daily Hodl, and it's titled, Tron CEO Justin Sun says he holds large stacks of Ethereum and XRP, and reveals a bullish Bitcoin price prediction. So I thought I'd run through that. I think it's kind of notable when a major CEO, at least in the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, announces something about XRP. I'm happy to cover that. And I've got this article, also from Daily Hodl. Bank of England exec urges focus on digital currencies as ECB Pres Christine Lagarde issues call to action. And so most of this article has to do with the idea that just another central bank is getting savvy with the times here and understanding that perhaps digital currencies make a lot of sense. And what do you think is going to happen as digital currencies continue to be adopted? Of course, there should be, in theory, if done properly, less friction, more movement of money around the world. And what can bridge all of those? Well, XRP, my friends. It's the only cryptocurrency that's being positioned as a bridge currency that can solve a global solution, period. Other than that, you just got your little walled garden scenarios. And I've got this article, I'm going to touch on this last. And actually, funny enough, ties in with a little bit of what was talked about in the first article. They ended up touching on it, but Warren Buffett denies report that he owns Bitcoin, says he will never buy cryptocurrency, but he was apparently given some, so what's going on here? But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It does a body good. Ask your doctor. There's science behind it, I promise you that. Let's go ahead and dive in now. So again, the first piece is about Tron CEO Justin Sun holding XRP and Ethereum here. Justin Sun is bullish on Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. In a new interview on CNN, the founder of Tron, a billion-dollar decentralized blockchain platform, says he owns a diversified crypto portfolio. And here's a quote here. Basically, I'm a crypto believer, so I converted like all my assets in 2013. These days, I only exchange the crypto to fiat if I need to spend money in my daily life. I own lots of the XRP and the Ethereum too. I'm a long-term believer in crypto, so I want all the crypto assets to succeed. That's why I own lots of the other different cryptos as well. And I'll tell you what, and I've said this before, I'm definitely more bullish for the crypto asset class for the short to mid-range at a minimum, perhaps even for the long haul, in terms of returns if you compare it to, for instance, the stock market. Or, even real estate in the United States. I think there are a lot of bubbles going on here. And so I suspect that it'll do better. But this is not financial advice because I don't have a financial background. I want to be clear on that. I'm just sharing an opinion. But I still just don't have the guts, even though I believe that. I don't have the guts to invest everything into the world of crypto, even though I believe that would probably result in better returns. If I'm wrong about that, the consequences would be so dire that I'm just not willing to take that risk. But I am willing to put in a certain amount of my actual fiat currency because I do believe in what I'm talking about here, especially in terms of the adoption of XRP. So props to Justin Sun that he's been so bullish, especially when, at that point in 2013, when he converted quote, like all my assets in 2013. I mean, crypto had only been around a few years, so either he's really smart or really crazy or both. Maybe it's a little column A, a little column B. That could be the case. So that's notable. And I also find it endlessly fascinating that you're seeing more and more of mainstream media, in this case CNN, interviewing those many figures really in the blockchain, the world of blockchain. Of course, Brad Garlinghouse was recently interviewed as well on CNN by Julia Chatterley. Now the piece continues. Sun is also offering his views on the price of Bitcoin in the long run. And here's another quote. I definitely believe Bitcoin will pass $100,000 in 2025. I believe maybe we can even achieve this price before 2025. At the same time, I believe lots of the other cryptocurrency projects like Tron, like Ethereum, like XRP, I believe all these projects will also get into a bull market as well. How about that? Well, I'll tell you what, I can't disagree with that, and especially in the short term, where I don't believe at all that the market's sufficiently parsing out the differences between the cryptocurrencies. It's one of those things where, if I had to guess, you could probably buy just about any cryptocurrency if it's in the top 100, maybe even smaller cap coins, who knows? and might do well in the next parabolic run-up, if I just had to guess, because it seems very clear to me that people just haven't figured this stuff out. I think it's going to take a long time for this all to get built out and understood in a sophisticated and mature way. Now, Sun says the Tron blockchain is an alternative to iOS and Android operating systems and offers users privacy advantages. And here's another quote. In the decentralized ecosystem, we are just the system builders. We don't control any user data. Privacy is all preserved by users themselves. And so conceptually sounds like an interesting project. Now, of course, there's a coin attached to it. But anyway, the Tron founder, and check this out because I'm going to tie this background towards the end of the video. Check this out. The Tron founder finally sat down with legendary investor Warren Buffett in early February. Sun won a lunch date with Buffett last year after placing the winning bid for Buffett's annual charity auction. Sun says Buffett accepted his crypto gift of Bitcoin and TRX, although he did not give him Ethereum. And then here's a quote now from Justin Sun. Basically, Warren Buffett is a Bitcoin holder now. And I'm going to tie back around to that because there's an article saying kind of the opposite there. But let's hop into this first. Bank of England exec urges focus on digital currencies as ECB Pres Christine Lagarde issues call to action. Now, the Bank of England's chief cashier is urging support to explore the launch of an official digital currency. Sarah John, who oversees the issuance of banknotes at England's central bank, says it's crucial to act on new opportunities with the emerging asset class. And so I wasn't familiar with this term. I mean, I'm not in England, of chief cashier. But that sounds like a pretty major role. Again, this is the person that oversees the issuance of banknotes at England's central bank. So, currency. Further delays, she warns, will serve big tech players like Facebook along with the private sector that will be able to shape, control, and dominate the new era of money. And so the central bank, we're talking about Bank of England here, sees it as a race of sorts, a race for the adoption of, in this case, a fiat currency that would just be in a new digital form utilizing blockchain technology here. Because if that's not adopted, the fear is that there could be other cryptocurrencies that are completely decentralized that perhaps could fill that void. Now, I'm not against the concept of something like that happening over the long haul, but I still don't believe that we're going to see a world where there's just one coin to rule them all and that fiat currencies go away. I don't think fiat currencies are going to go extinct. I think that sovereign governments are going to want to retain their sovereignty as it pertains to the issuance of currency. I just don't see that going away. Now, in an interview with The Telegraph UK, John says, quote, "We need to think as an institution about how to position ourselves to make sure society has a broad range of payments that it can use with confidence. It is absolutely right that central banks think about whether a public sector or private sector would be best to provide a digital currency going forward," which again speaks to exactly what I just said a moment ago. Would it be something that's decentralized, or would it be something that's a centralized, like a central bank digital currency? And again, if something is centralized, that makes me extra sure that you're not going to get the whole world to adopt it. It's just not happening. And even if it's decentralized, too many people have too many motivating factors and with different attributes with different cryptocurrencies, and I just don't see that. Even in the use case, if you're just talking about the use case of a cryptocurrency as money, I still don't see that making sense. Certainly not in my lifetime here. I'd be surprised. I could see definitely a cryptocurrency in my lifetime getting used in place of money in some corners of the world. To what degree would there be that type of adoption? I don't know, but I could definitely see that happening within my lifespan. I'm 36 years old here. But that'll be one of the later use cases adopted, I think, because there's not a ton of friction for most of the planet in spending money right now. If that were a bigger pain point, then it would get adopted sooner, and that's why I also suspect that those corners of the world where there is the most pain will be the geographic regions that utilize cryptocurrencies for that specific use case in the future. Those will be the ones that would use it first for that use case. Now, meanwhile, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde is calling on residents in the Eurozone to comment on the bank's monetary strategy in light of external factors such as climate change and the rapid disruption in banking, cross-border transactions, and the payments industry due to digitization. Lagarde, who has repeatedly issued notices about the changing tide in the global financial system, is urging people to write in with their opinions. In a new public service announcement, Lagarde says the ECB is using its listening portal to hear everyone's views. And here's a quote now. We at the ECB have decided to review our monetary policy strategy. So together with the 19 national central banks of the euro area, we will look at various issues, including, in particular, what we mean by price stability. But we also want to understand more about how other topics influence our job, like employment, like climate change, like digitalization. The euro is a public good. The euro actually belongs to all of us. It belongs to you. So we need to hear from you in this strategy review. Stable prices help you make decisions in many aspects of your life, from saving to borrowing and from spending to investing. And I'll tell you, there's never been a period in my life where more major entities, governments, of course, are fundamentally understanding that the way in which money moves around the world is changing like never before. And articles like these are just additional tidbits of evidence here. And this is just the beginning, though. Wait until more of the changes get implemented and micropayments become a daily way of life. Like that's going to be something. Now take a look at this. We're going to wrap back around to something that was covered at the end of the first article now. And this piece, though, is titled, it's from Daily Huddle also, Warren Buffett denies report that he owns Bitcoin, says he will never buy cryptocurrency. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett says reports that he now holds Bitcoin and Tron are not true. Tron CEO Justin Sun says he gave the Berkshire Hathaway chairman both coins during a charity dinner. When asked if the dinner with Sun changed his mind on cryptocurrency, Buffett tells CNBC he remains a critic. And here's a quote. But I didn't change his mind either. I had a very pleasant dinner and those people behaved more than well. Justin gave $4.6 million to Glide, and that will buy a lot of meals and provide a lot of beds for people in San Francisco, so I thank him. I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't own any cryptocurrency. I never will. And in the end, I may start a war on currency. I can create one and say, there's only going to be 21 million of them, and you can have a ledger receipt from me, and everything that says you have it. And you can have it after I die, but you can't do anything with it except sell it to somebody else. There you go. And this is the funny thing about it. It's one of the fundamental things he's missing. He has an incorrect valuation model as it pertains to crypto. And just understand that if there's a genuine value, so we're talking about network effect here, that's what's actually important. So you could create 21 million of a cryptocurrency, but how are you going to drive true value utilizing that? That's the issue, and that's why almost every cryptocurrency existing today is going to fail. But he doesn't even see that there could be value in any of it, but how could he? He's comparing it to actual companies that produce something, but that's the wrong valuation model, period. Now, the legendary investor first hit the scene as a crypto critic back in May of 2013 when Bitcoin was worth about $130, saying he had no confidence whatsoever that the digital asset can become a universal currency. At the time, he said he had no plans to invest. Now, of course, I'm kind of with him on that as far as a universal currency not happening, but to just say that there's nothing to this and that the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time has persisted despite being under a microscope for over a decade, come on, man. At some point, enough time is going to pass and the cryptocurrency asset class is not going to go away and you're going to have to finally acknowledge there's something to it. Keep your head in the sand, though, in the meantime. It's cool. That's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!